depends. I really have never had much trouble with my weight. However, like everyone in the world, I have to diet at some point. Nobody can continue to eat constantly and just keep gaining and gaining and gaining. The doctor will tell you have to stop. So everyone has to diet.
What do you do when you diet?
Well, I have little tricks. Firstly, I think that one of the problems with losing weight is that we look at it as a negative. Losing. I can't eat. I'm losing weight. I can't have, which immediately makes me hungry. When I go on a diet, I want to eat everything, more than I ever wanted to eat it. So I thought, okay, I have to get a better attitude about it. So I said, okay, I'm not losing weight. I'm gaining a wonderful figure.
Is that what you meant in your book when you said you have to love yourself more than you love food?
Well, I found that eating for a lot of people is just replacing something else. And usually it's love. Usually it's approval. Usually it's something emotional that we need. And at the time, we cannot get it. So we go to the icebox and we have something that we really like to eat. And it makes us feel good about ourselves. We don't need anybody else to do it. And I think that what you have to do is you have to start saying, okay, you make a mental plan for yourself. And you find out all the reasons why you're afraid to be thin. And then you find out when you go to the refrigerator and you want to eat that little bit of food, what is it that I really want right now instead of the food? You start looking at your pattern and you start seeing it, and then it starts to disappear where you say, no, I'm going to feel good about myself. I'm not going to eat that thing. And you close the door.
You have a reputation of being a great cook. How do you manage that and still stay so slender?
I don't eat it. It's terrible. I love to cook fattening things, wonderful things, but I don't eat it all. I have a terrible weakness for pizza, one of my favorite things in the world. And I invented this thing called the special burger, which is ground white veal, and I put chunks of cheddar cheese, and I put tomato and mushrooms and green pepper and onion and green olives and everything that I like, and I put it in, and then I fry it, and the cheese melts and gets crusty, and I have the illusion that I'm eating something like a pizza that I really look forward to. Now, I do not eat it when I'm not on a diet, because it's the one thing I give myself that I can't have, so that I'm giving myself something instead of taking away something. And here it is.
It looks wonderful. So what you're really saying is that we should make dieting something fun, something special and to look forward to.
Treat yourself. Use your best china. Use your favorite crystal. Put the flowers on the table and make something that you just love to eat, that you don't get fat on.
Sounds good to me. Let's try it.
Okay.
Tomorrow, Linda Evans.
I like the classic look because it never goes out of style, number one. And you can update it with trendy kind of fad belts and accessories or blouses and make it look new and make the whole outfit change.
Can you show us an example?
Well, sure. Okay, for instance, you take a classic black skirt. You can wear, like for cocktails or evening or dinner, a blouse like this, dresses it up. But for daytime, the same skirt you can put with this, with the red belt, and a red shawl. Give it a little color. Then we've got this plain white pair of pants. You can use this for evening with a little silver belt, or you can take the same pair of white pants and take something that's more today and kind of trendy and put this with it for a very casual look.
You emphasize the need to wear clothes that you're comfortable in and really reflect your personal style. What kind of clothes are you most comfortable in?
Used to be that if I had to put on a pair of high heel shoes and a skirt, it was absurd. I was so embarrassed. It was uncomfortable for me because I basically was in blue jeans or really casual clothes, and I very seldom went somewhere where I had to wear a dress. Since Dynasty and all the clothes that I've been wearing, it's just like second nature to me now. Do I put on a dress? Do I put on pants? It doesn't make any difference to me. Also, I used to have a thing about not wearing jewelry, but I found out something absolutely wonderful. They make incredible copies. Now, I have since bought myself some lovely pieces of jewelry, but they make these that I cannot tell the difference from mine. This is my real jewelry.
Beautiful.
This is the copy. And I think for very little money, it can look so elegant on a suit or something.
You really can't tell the difference.
No. Also, these earrings I wore on the show and fell in love with them. So I went to the jewelers, and I had these made to match them. And now when I travel, I can just use the fake ones. I don't have to worry about losing them.
You have so many different kinds of outfits. Do you have bags and accessories and shoes to match each one of them?
Well, Nolan Miller, the costume designer on our show, showed me a wonderful trick. And that is, you use a pair of taupe shoes and a bag to match. And it goes with everything. I have taupe shoes on right now. That way you don't have to pack a red pair of shoes, a black pair of shoes, etc.
What about colors? Are there some that you really love and others you stay away from?
Well, I try to avoid green because, to me, what you wear kind of reflects back up on you, and green is not so terrific on me, except for khaki. Well, Nolan was clever. He made this skirt, and we have these two different outfits. You can get dressy with this, or be very casual and today with this, the sweater. And this color looks pretty good on me.
I remember seeing that on Dynasty.
Absolutely.
Is there anything in personal style that's changed over the years since you've been making the best dress lists?
Well, I have more of a sense of humor about myself, as I do about everything about myself now. And whereas I used to stick to the very traditional, I find myself getting daring once in a while. I pick out something that's very unlike me, just so people can't predict what I'm going to do. And this is a shirt I've had for a few years. Every time I wear it, people say, I'm Linda. It's so different.
It's not exactly the concept we have of you.
But it's fun. You me early this morning. What happens is I look at myself and I say, that's who you are and it's wonderful. I don't judge myself anymore. I allow myself to be whatever it happens to be. I'm my own best friend now and it's wonderful.
But you weren't when you were 20 years old. Has that just been a matter of maturity?
It's taken me a long time because what happened was I avoided growing up. I didn't want any responsibility. I didn't want to really see a lot of things. I wanted to just go through life, and what I didn't like, I kind of shoved aside. And what happens is you keep shoving it, and it comes back behind you, and it sits like up behind you here, and it's something you're aware of that you haven't dealt with. And at some point in your life, you have to have the courage to turn around and see what you've been shoving behind you. And at that point, it's a very exciting journey.
So when you were younger, you were much more passive and submissive. How is it now that you're able to be so comfortable being a stronger woman?
What I found out is it takes a little while. You have to learn, like anything else. You try to ride a bicycle, and you get on, and it gets all wobbly and crazy. Well, you have to go through that stage of where you're not doing it right until you can do it right. So you have to go through a period of adjustment to get used to yourself that way.
How can women start on that? How can women begin that process then? I mean, it's a frightening thing. How can they learn to be more comfortable being stronger people?
Well, firstly, you have to find out what you're afraid of, why you're afraid to be assertive. Where is it for you? What's the dynamic for you that makes you not be? Where's the fear? What's your programming? Something in your life has shown you, as I say in my book, there are different instances in my life where when I became assertive, I really got in trouble, and everybody looked like they weren't going to love me, or I was really Linda was that way? Oh my goodness. And so as a little child, I thought, that's not the way to be. I think this is the worst. We're not going to be that way at all. So you have to kind of open yourself up to the situation where when you go to be assertive, and I don't mean dominating or aggressive in any way. I just mean speak your truth. There's a certain balance where you just are authentic with yourself and how you feel and who you are. And at that point, what you have to do is you have to see what fear comes up when you try to be authentic, and keep track of that so you understand what part of you you're dealing with that has the fear of being that way. So you can sort of heal it and help it kind of come out.
Start being honest with yourself.
Absolutely. First with yourself, for sure. One of the loveliest discoveries that I've made is that we get to learn about ourselves and change ourselves for the rest of our lives. It's something to look forward to because it never ends. It's something we can do forever when we're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. It's an amazing thing. It's like a layering process, that the more we learn we have to learn. And it's never ending. And it's exciting. It's the most exciting thing in the world that'll keep us busy till the day we die.
So you're not worried about being the perfect 50 in 10 years?
Perfect. Forget that word, perfect. I'm going to be 50 and love every minute of it. Every minute. And 60 and 70 and 80. 90, 100, I don't know how long we can live.